I'm not no killer. I'm not no murderer. I'm not no bad person. And a lot of people, honestly.
Tonight, Raymond Childs III is maintaining his innocence.
But still, he is going to prison for 360 years for murdering 6 of his family members. These are deadly shootings that happened more than 4 years ago inside the family home that's located here in Indianapolis out on the east side.
Rich Nye takes us into the courtroom to hear from the families destroyed by this mass murder.
Raymond Childs III was just 17 years old in January 2021 when 6 people were shot and killed inside this home on Adams Street. A jury convicted Childs in October of murdering his parents, his 13-year-old sister, his 18-year-old brother, and his brother's 19-year-old almost full-term pregnant girlfriend. A 15-year-old brother who ran out of the house was shot twice but survived.
I cannot comprehend the darkness in your heart at that time that led you to commit such an unfortunate act on January 24th. What I do know is that our lives changed forever on this date, and you robbed us of everything we had.
Childs told the families in a packed courtroom that he is not the killer.
Just as I sit here 4 years ago, I'm innocent. It's not a day that goes by where I don't think about them or wish that they was here. Even on my bad days, I tell myself that they're still here.
The judge called the murders calculated, cunning, and cold-blooded, sending Childs to prison for the rest of his life. So the 360-year prison sentence breaks down like this: 55 years for each of the 6 people murdered, including the unborn baby, and 30 years for the attempted murder of Raymond Childs' 15-year-old brother.
The evidence in this case could fairly be characterized as overwhelming. There was cell phone evidence, he was caught with the murder weapon, and most compellingly, his own brother identified him in open court, and it would have been nice if he had expressed some remorse about what happened.
Everything that he said, I believe. So, I don't too much believe justice was served, but I do hope that they do find the real people that did it.
The justice system decided he did it. Rich Nye, 13 News.
And Childs plans to appeal his conviction. During testimony today, a doctor said that Childs suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder due to a childhood filled with complex trauma from abuse and domestic violence.
2 young people are in police custody tonight. They're accused of committing violent crimes using guns.
Jenny Runovich shares more about the crimes, the quick arrests, and the age of the boys arrested.
Well, one of the crimes happened in this public park at 23rd in Alabama on a Sunday evening. 2 teenage girls hit by gunfire. Now a 14-year-old boy arrested and accused of pulling the trigger.
That shooting in a place of peace brought a crush of police on March 2nd. Just 8 days later, IMPD and SWAT officers converged here and arrested a 14-year-old boy in connection with the shooting that injured 2 girls. It's the same day officers found all these guns in the apartment of another teen accused in violent gun crimes, a 16-year-old who investigators say fired a shot off a balcony at Bayview Club Apartments. They believe the same boy held up this Walgreens next door, pointing a gun at a customer and cashier, demanding cash. The 16-year-old's mom helped turn him in.
Yeah, these are individuals that shouldn't have firearms. We need parents, we need adults, we need mentors to step up and guide these young people. You know, in some cases we're having that and they're still obtaining firearms, but 2 juveniles committing violent crimes in our city is not acceptable.
So now we have 2 young boys facing some very serious preliminary charges ranging from battery and criminal recklessness to armed robbery. In Indianapolis, Jenny Runovich, 13 News.
Tonight, 2 teens are recovering after a drive-by shooting. It happened on the west side of Indianapolis near 10th and Country Club Road. That's where Metro Police tell 13 News that someone fired multiple shots into a home. This happened around 9:30 Monday night, and it hurt the 2 teenage boys. Officers did not have an update on their condition at our last check, but did tell us that they're considered stable. Investigators tell us they do have a vague description of the car suspected in the shooting, but they have yet to release any information about that publicly.
An inmate already serving a 20-year sentence for burglary will now spend 12 years behind bars after stealing a truck and escaping prison. A Johnson County judge sentenced Marion Janes on the charges from about a year and a half ago. At the sentencing, Janes told the judge his actions were the dumbest thing he's ever done. Janes stole the truck and escaped from the Edinburgh Correctional Facility back in October of 23. He then drove to the west side of Indy, where our cameras caught police arresting him at a home near Holt and Rockville Roads. James will now begin his new sentence after completing his sentence for burglary in October of 2027.
We do have an update for you on the statewide tornado drill. In just the last 2.5 hours, we learned that none of the outdoor tornado sirens in Marion County worked on the first go-around, and neither did the sirens that are located in Hancock County. We do know that the sirens in Marion County worked during a brief test around 2 o'clock this afternoon. So they're going to investigate, and they do plan to test them again. That next test is set for 11 o'clock on Friday morning. Yes. And that's why we do these tests,
That's
right?
why we have Severe Weather Preparedness Week to work out all of these kinks before we really get into severe weather season. And you know, you probably had kids at school practice the tornado drill today. You can practice at home tonight on what are we going to do in the event of severe weather? Where are we going to go as a family?
Right. I think that's really important so that all those questions at that moment of crisis, it's all been handled. We know we're going to that room, interior wall, downstairs, in
All
the
those
basement,
things.
if possible.
Yes, all those things. And it gives them comfort to know ahead of time where to go.
Right.
Didn't need any of that preparation today. Temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. Lots of sunshine over central Indiana. We have 71 in Indianapolis, 73 Greensburg, and currently 68 degrees in Tipton. Pacers at home hosting the Bucks. Don't need the coat as you head into the Fieldhouse this evening. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s and low 70s all the way through sunset, and another mild start tomorrow. You probably have kids as well asking to wear shorts to school. We'll be in the middle and upper 40s early tomorrow at the bus stop, but we will end the day again in the low 70s. Another warm one for our Wednesday afternoon. As we look ahead, there is a slight rain chance on Thursday. I'll cover that in the forecast, but the next best chance of rain comes with a line of storms later Friday night into early Saturday, and a few of those could be on the strong side. We'll also talk about some strong non-thunderstorm winds headed our way for Friday and Saturday as well, all in the 7-day.
Angela, thank you so much. Immigration enforcement is part of several bills to end up in front of Indiana's General Assembly.
And one of them provides money to our local law enforcement to help with ICE immigration enforcement. Our State House reporter Emily Longnecker has an update on where that bill stands right now.
That bill, Senate Bill 430, is about grant money. It gives local law enforcement federal money for training to help them work with ICE. That work, according to lawmakers, is voluntary. Under 430, local law enforcement would get money to train their officers to identify people they already have in jail or prison who are undocumented, and then let ICE know. Earlier in the session, local police testified that was already happening, with ICE sometimes not even responding to their calls. In the first weeks of his presidency, President Trump signed an executive order calling for ICE to partner with local law enforcement to help deport undocumented immigrants. Governor Braun signed an executive order requiring Indiana State Police to do the same and encouraging cooperation with ICE among local law enforcement, something many testified was already happening. There have been several bills this session dealing with immigration issues, including one that would have required local departments to sign an agreement with ICE to help with enforcement. That bill did not make it out of committee. Senate Bill 430 would give incentives for that cooperation, providing money for training for those local departments. The bill passed by a vote of 12-1, with only Democratic State Representative Renee Pack voting against it.
I have fears about overreaching in this area of immigration. I'm a retired educator, and I've seen the effects of deportation, especially fathers who have to leave their families, who are without anything because usually they're the big money maker of the family. And what I'm saying is not just that, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have these policies in place, but I think what we've got is adequate. And so I don't want to go too much further.
I think everybody can wrap their hands around the fact that these folks are already incarcerated, and there's a program. We're just going to help ICE identify who needs to be adhere to the immigration laws.
Senate Bill 430 only had one person testify today in support of it, a representative from the Indiana Sheriff's Association. Again, there are several bills this session dealing with immigration issues, and some people have already testified that they fear that those bills target the immigrant community and will lead to racial profiling. Supporters of this bill say it is is not a mandate. They are using a carrot, they say, rather than a stick to encourage police to work with ICE to help identify people who are already behind bars who could be undocumented. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
And in a little less than 30 minutes, Indy Parks is hosting a hiring event for older teenagers and young adults.
This is all part of the City of Indianapolis summer jobs hiring season kickoff. Project Indy, as it's called, currently has 257 positions open from more than 160 local employers. There is a variety of jobs available, like lifeguards, cashier, and even camp counselor with Indy Parks.
And they're looking to hire people as young as 16 who are still in school to people as old as 24 who may have graduated from college.
These summer jobs teach our young people basic yet important skills, like how to fill out an application, how to interview, how to interact with customers.
If you're interested, the hiring event begins at 5:30 at Frederick Douglass Park. If you cannot make that, you can also text Project Indy to 317-659-9657. That way you can get started with Project Indy.
And if you didn't get that all written down, don't worry, because we put it all together for you, including a link to the Project Indy on our website. You can get there easily by scanning this QR code. It'll take you to the address WTHR.com/scene on 13.